Welcome back, chess fans, to the next installment of United States Chess League Highlights. We're now halfway through the regular season for Eastern Division teams. In Week 5, we saw two teams at the top of the table fail to pull away, while two others got themselves back in the playoff hunt. In a battle of first-place teams, the New York Knights and Connecticut Dreadnoughts each came into Week 5 sitting on 3-1. They remained tied for first in a match that teetered both ways on the bottom two boards. Four GMs on boards 1 and 2 played relatively uneventful draws, but on board 4, National Master Joshua Collis of Connecticut found just enough shelter with his king to mate his opponent. That left his peer, National Master Justice Williams of the Knights, needing to hold with his small material advantage over National Master Ian Harris. A long simplification sequence began with 41 rook takes d4 to unpin his f-pawn. But after the reply, queen takes e5, Harris threatened both queen takes d4 and a first-rank invasion. Williams decided to allow queen e1 check, because after king h2, the rook can't be captured due to rook g3 check, leading to mate. Williams then allowed h4, because after queen h6 check, he can get the queens off the board, making sure not to take the h-pawn and allow rook h8. After a series of geometric checks, Williams was able to score the full point. The win for New York leveled the match and kept both teams tied atop the East. The draw allowed New Jersey to join New York and Connecticut in a first-place tie, as the knockouts caught up using wins from their two GMs to edge the applesauce 2.5 to 1.5. Grandmaster Joel Benjamin lost his wedge pawn before hoodwinking IM Eli Vavsha, but in the most determined endgame effort of the year, Grandmaster Alex Strapunski whittled away at a queen and pawn endgame before finally scoring the point against Grandmaster Vladimir Romanenko. Strapunski only played 25 moves with his rooks, knights, and bishops, but after reaching a seemingly stale position, he played 87 more with just his queens and pawns to make something out of nothing. The key maneuver was 69 king g4, abandoning hopes of a passed pawn on the king's side and running to the more fruitful queen side. His king played checkers in the light squares, and once it got to c2, he pillaged all of white's pawns. Romanenko found some counterplay, but after 99 king a3, Strapunski again found just the right shelter for his king. Romanenko's c-pawn actually gets in the way of his defense, as without it, endgame table bases say queen a7 check would lead to a draw. Instead, Strapunski soon promoted to his second queen and scored the full point. Boston won with both of their blacks over Philly, helping give credence to Denis Shmelov's prediction that the Blitz would make the playoffs despite a 1-3 start. Shmelov didn't play on Monday, but both National Master Ilya Krasik and FIDE Master Kazim Gulamali did. They both crushed with black, only needing 51 moves combined to tally their 2 wins. Gulamali, a world-renowned bughouse player, showed how to make the most of non-ephemeral pieces. He first activated his rooks with king h7, forcing the ugly f3 to close down the long diagonal. Then, after doubling rooks on the g-file, he activated his final 2 pieces with the pleasing 28 e4. The pawn is attacked 5 times, but black clears out e5 for his knight. Right after the knight landed on e5, white resigned. The final position is quite pleasing in that every black piece dominates its white cousin. The final score was 2.5 to 1.5 for the Blitz. The Baltimore Kingfishers also got out of the cellar, winning a close one against New England. National Master Jared Defiball got the only win of the entire match, but the key draw for the Kingfishers was on board 2. IM David Vigorito couldn't stop Grandmaster Larry Kaufman's pawn from escorting itself to the second rank, but Vigorito found the repetition resource 35 rook d7. The rook is tabooed due to mate on f8, so when the GM ran away, white just kept offering the rook. After a dance of rooks, a draw resulted, leaving Baltimore with a slim win. So tune in later to see how the Western Division teams did in their Week 5 matches. Until then, we'd like to thank the U.S. Chess League sponsors, PokerStars, the ICC, and Chess.com.